Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's Carole Baskin at Big Cat Rescue. Hope you're having a cat-tastic day. There's always so much going on out here at the sanctuary. I'm back here with servals on this side and vacation rotation on that side. Today is the day for all of the cats, so I don't know if I've missed that or not. Hopefully we'll get to see some of that. Usually they go out, feed the cats, clean the cats, and then do the moving. Doesn't look like they've mowed in there, so possibly you haven't missed it. But the reason, oh man, I should have done something with my hair. I'm going to turn it around so you don't see this mess. So there's water on the ground. No water coming from the sky. And the reason for that, and the reason you hear kind of a lot of hissing over there, is it's been so dry that the pond over there in vacation rotation has dropped dramatically. And we have it on a pump system, so you can see the pump there. It comes underground where it's now leaking, and it pulls water from the big lake over there, Tiger Lake. And you know, I saw an old post today where we used to refer to the big lake as Tiger Lake, and the smaller lake over there, which is where Dutchess is, that we now call Tiger Lake, we called it Lion Lagoon. I don't know when we stopped calling it Lion Lagoon. Maybe when lions didn't live on it anymore. I think Cameron and Zabu might have been the last lions to live on that lake. Anyway, that big lake is way down right now, but we have the pipe going far enough out there in the water to be able to fill this up before you can walk on dry ground in there, because when you go on vacation, man, you want a place you can swim. And you might want to turn your speakers down because I am pedaling my bike right now. And sometimes that creates a lot of wind noise. When you see the camera not moving so fast, you can turn your speakers back up then. Not seeing any servals out. Jamie said later on she's going to go pull the camera trap card for winter. She's been watching with a camera trap, things going on out there. And so I thought that might be fun to go see her pull the card. It's going to take her hours and hours and hours to go through all of the images because, man, every time she puts a camera trap out anywhere, you got birds and lizards and field rats and everything you can imagine tripping it that wasn't what you really wanted to see. So she'll be going through that, and then she said she'll put together a video. One of the things that we've been concerned about out there is there's some really big poop between the cages. She thinks it's the bobcat visiting. I think it's bigger than a bobcat, so we shall see. I have never tried this before where you add a link before you go live. So a lot of the questions people have been asking, and I expect people will ask today, are probably all answered at bigcatrescue.org/moving. I put that link there. It says learn more, and you can go and search for any of the questions that you might have had, or there is a hour-long video that talks about all of those questions. I'm happy to answer you again if I see your questions. It's just sometimes I'm doing like fussy stuff like this where I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping the camera on something interesting, but trying to make sure I can get through the gates as well. This is Simba Tiger. Donor plaques for vacation rotation. The reason that's here is because all these tunnels lead out to vacation rotation. I think we have another one out there at vacation rotation. Somebody snoozing away. Karen Nash, this is Thursday. It's usually the day that we set aside for moving cats. Every month, a different tiger gets to go out there into vacation rotation, and every 2 weeks, a different cat gets to go to funcation. So today, Aria Tiger either will be or did move back home. I need to ask somebody because I don't know for sure which has happened or if it's happened. There was a whole lot of cleaning going on earlier, and I saw some raking and yard work. Everybody's been very, very busy, except for the tigers, who are not so busy. They have their breakfast and then they're busy taking their naps. I saw somebody asking why Brittany's not doing the live. When COVID hit in March, let me think here, it was March 15th of 2020, and then 5 days later, Tiger King came out and totally misportrayed us as being just a horrible place. We ended up dropping volunteers over the next 3 years, and those volunteers have gone on to do other things that they find satisfaction in. But as a result, we have only a third of the volunteers that we ever had, which is just stunning to me. All of our history, we always had anywhere from 80 to 110 volunteers. Now we have about 40. And so when you've got 110, or let's just round it in between, let's say 100 or even 95. Let's say you got 95 keepers and you got 41 cats. You got 2 keepers per cat. When you got 40 keepers and 40 cats, that's 1 keeper per cat. So everybody is having to work so hard, and I can't make volunteers come in and spend time taking care of the cats. That's up to them. If they can't find joy in doing that and find other things that are more important to them, I can't compete with that. And so the only thing I can do is use the paid staff that we have to make sure these cats get the care that they need. Jamie says she's headed to winter now, so I will zoom back, because when I'm really zoomed in, it can make you sick when I turn around. We're going to race out there to see Jamie pull that card, and maybe, if we're lucky, see Winter. We had a staff meeting this morning, and so we announced at the staff meeting that Brittany will be cleaning cages 4 days a week, feeding the cats, cleaning cages, doing the projects. We have a big maintenance list that we work off of all of the different things the keepers report need to be done. And so in order to make sure those things are being done, we're having to use paid staff to do it. So she's going to be helping Afton and Aaron and the amazing volunteers who are still here and still showing up and still working every day. I absolutely adore you guys. I appreciate you survived COVID, you survived Tiger King, you survived all of the awful, awful things that have happened in the past 3 years, and you were here for the cats because you love them, and I love you for that. All right, I'm going to be a little out of breath because I'm pedaling fast, because I know Jamie's got a lot on her plate. And she was like, why are you going to follow me out there to pick up the card? It's not going to be anything interesting. I think it's always interesting to see what she goes through and what she's doing. Maybe that's because I'm her mama, but I think she's got an amazing role here at the sanctuary. Everything ends up falling on her shoulders when it comes to making sure that this place is safe and secure and maintained. Looks like that might be her golf cart down there that we're chasing. Yes. All right. Gotta pedal faster. I'm gonna be sweating bullets by the time I get out there. I apologize for the sound, guys. Give you a beautiful view of the lake while we ride. When our keepers are cleaning cages, we usually ask them not to be using that time to film cats. But what I announced to the staff this morning is that it's okay for Brittany to take some 1-minute clips or less that we can use for shorts and reels, because those are what is getting all the attention right now. And so you guys will be hearing her voice, seeing her interactions with cats in those short 1-minute clips. It's not like you're going to miss her completely. is an area you don't see very often. That's our squirrel rehab area. And this leads back to rehab. So if you guys see her, let me know. You know this cat. Oh, it's inside. I thought you were setting the camera trap out here to find out who was pooping in the yard. When do you pull that card?
We just did it. A couple days, so next week.
And you didn't see who it was? They're invisible.
We had 2 possums and then just some brown fur. So the brown fur could have been a cat really close to the camera.
Huh.
But she has 2 cameras inside.
And so what are these for?
These are just to see her playing with her enrichments and to observe how she's moving. It's been a year and 3 months since she came in. So we've tried on again, off again, prednisone for her. And we're decreasing her to every other day now to see if she has any difference.
And why is it important to decrease it if you can?
Well, I mean, like, it could be hard on them, and prednisone particularly can be hard on them, and it can also make some things worse. So she seems to be around the same as she always has been. So now that we have better camera set up, we're going to try to see if there's any difference taking her off of it.
I was telling people on the way over here, usually when you pull a card off of a camera trap, you're looking at thousands of things that you did not want to have to look at. But this will all be fun stuff.
Maybe. Last time the cameras kind of misfired, and every time the streamers blew in the wind. So
No.
Like 10, 12,000 video clips.
Of streamers.
Yeah.
It's a party.
And 1 lizard.
So can I come with you or should I stay out?
Come in. She won't come up to us. We just have to spray our feet when we leave.
And why is that?
Being suspected of having FLM, we just treat her as quarantine, and they don't know how it's transmitted, so we spray our feet with bleach when we leave. So we're not tracking any of her stuff.
Where did you get those amazing earrings? I love them. One of your auctions?
Yeah, they're 1940s.
You're so retro. I was never a retro, unless you can count going back in different lifetimes.
You can already see her. I don't think you could see her with the camera, but you could probably see her past
Between the
concrete
den
and the wall.
Oh yeah, I can actually. And this camera's got an amazing zoom. I bet we can.
And that's where she hangs out when we're doing all this stuff in her cage. She watches us.
I love that. You can see her. Look at this.
Oh yeah. She's nosy.
Oop, she's gone. I see that little bobcat face. Oh my gosh, that is so adorable.
when we set, normally, you know, if we're coming in quick, she's kind of like on guard. But when we set up all this enrichment, she came out a little bit more and was just sitting and watching us do everything. And so we have 2 cameras positioned in 2 different angles on the enrichment stuff in here, so that we could see her interacting with it from different angles.
All right, point at the cameras again, because I was trying to zoom out. So there's one there.
Over here on this pole. And then when we set this up last week, we had all kinds of enrichment on the bed, and everything was just off the bed. So hopefully we got some stuff. We did leave one streamer, which might give us a bunch of false video clips. It's not really supposed to do that. It's supposed to be heat in motion, but my guess is maybe the streamers are just, the darker
so
colors are getting hot and then blowing in the wind.
It does not speak well for the temperature here.
And then
paper is so hot it sets it off.
We gave her one of these, which is one of Summer's favorite toys. So we'll see if she did anything with that too.
Whoever designed that was a genius. It's got scratching cardboard in the middle for catnip, and then the ball that rolls around in the track. But it's, can they get it out at all?
Yeah, it'll.
If you pull hard enough.
But I mean, it's lasted a week, so either she didn't play with it or she didn't try to get it out.
You're about to find out.
Yeah.
She's hiding, so. Well, we got a much better view of her than I thought we would get. I thought I was going to be trying to peek through the wire. Are you watching my back? In case she decides to come flying up on me.
So we actually go in with her in the cage because we don't want to force her to shift down to the smaller sections, just because of her mobility issues. So you saw that she didn't have any interest in coming near us. So usually all the other keepers will just walk down to where, like probably about 10 feet from where she was, and that's as far as they'll go. And every once in a while, Victor and I will go do that area closer where she's actually at.
How do you spray your feet?
We have the bleach outside.
I wore my new shoes. Now I'm going to have bleach spots on them. Good thing I never pay more than about $20 for a shoe.
Now, if you just put your foot up, I'll spray it.
Thank you.
You can do like this is easier.
You don't want it like up at face level? I'm so proud I can do it. Deb saw me put on that ankle bracelet. She's like, how'd you get your foot up on the kitchen counter? Oh, I should have stepped out, shouldn't I?
That one's covered in blood.
Step out.
And you can kick the other one behind you.
Oh, well, that's better.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's like, I feel like I've offered conditions like a horse.
Thanks a lot. Or a donkey, maybe, in my case.
So when we go back, I'll be looking through these next hour or so. And then this afternoon we'll go set the cameras back up and we'll put some new enrichment in there and freshen up the cabinet and everything.
And I came in late, so I don't know. Has anybody moved today for moving day?
Tomorrow?
What's today? Oh, today's Wednesday. Dang. Here I've been telling everybody, okay, we're going to move cats. I don't know if they moved them yet. All right, well, come back tomorrow.
We'll be moving Aria first thing in the morning and then Jasmine for the afternoon.
What's first thing in the morning hour-wise for you?
Feeding time?
Oh, really? So like 8?
8:30.
8:30 Eastern?
8:39. Depends on who's here and who's out.
And will you be mowing?
Yes.
I noticed there was lots of flowers in there. I didn't know if you wanted to chop their heads off or not.
Might leave patches up.
I would like that. All right, then. Thank you. So it's going to be quite a ride again because rehab is way back here, as you could see, in the woods, away from everything. While I'm back here, one of the questions people had was, can rehab cats be released, or not released, but taken to another state? And so Florida Wildlife Commission, when a cat is in rehab, they belong to the state of Florida. They can decide where the cats are going to go. And then if the cat, like Winter, when we contacted the Florida Wildlife Commission and said, we don't think she's going to be releasable, she still can't run, she's still wobbly, we don't know what's causing this FLM, and they gave us two choices. We could euthanize her, or we could send her to a permanent facility. And because Big Cat Rescue is one of those rare operations that is both a rehab center and has a permanent population, she was released to our permanent population. And Winter's the only cat that's still back here in the rehab area. All of our rehab cats have been released by the Florida Wildlife Commission to our general population that weren't able to be released. So that would be cats like Mrs. Claus and Summer and Flint and Ariel. Trying to think if there's others. But all of those were cats who the Florida Wildlife Commission said at the end of the period of time for trying to get them back to the wild, said if those cats can't be released, then you can euthanize them or you can send them to your permanent facility. And it's just that our permanent facility now will be in another state. But I've heard some people saying that those cats could not go because of the prohibition on moving native wild animals across the state from like one rehab center to another. All right, we're gonna pedal. It's gonna be loud. The air will be loud, and the Veterans Expressway is on the other side of this wall. I think there's 80 feet of brush that we keep trimmed so that we can access the wall and keep it in good repair out there. And then there is the county trail, which is how I go back and forth to the sanctuary on my bicycle. And then is the, 6 or 8 lane Veteran Expressway. This concrete wall cuts out some of the noise, but not nearly all of it. The bobcats in rehab have 2 layers of wall. They have the concrete wall on the right and the wooden wall on the left, but you can still hear the traffic out there. I think one of the coolest things about moving to Turpentine Creek is the peace and quiet these cats will have, because they'll be in the middle of 450 acres. One of the things I was curious to do, I haven't done it yet, maybe one of you out there will have CAD software or something that might be able to do this easier than I could, but I'd be interested to take an aerial of our 67 acres that we're on back here on Big Cat Rescue, and then expand around it a square of what 450 acres would look like. You know, how much of Tampa would that take up? I think it's got to be an awful lot. And when you look at the aerials of Turpentine Creek, you can see that it's just trees and trees and trees and trees. Some people have been complaining there aren't a lot of trees in the cages, but there's trees all around the cages. It's very, very peaceful. We're planting, right now, they're planting 23 trees inside the cages where the cats are going. And they have more space. So I think it's a trade-off. Here in Florida, we have lots of trees, but we have to build our cages in a way that they kind of snake around between the trees or up around the trees. And it's a whole different type of building process than what is being done there, because they have big open spaces. And the cool thing about cameras, and even when they go live there, is that because of the shape of these cages being either rectangular or trapezoids, you can see the whole space. So many times people thought our cages were really tiny because they only see a very small portion of it off of the tour route. Whereas if you're on their tour tram, you can see how much space these cats actually have. All right, looks like there's nobody back here at food prep. Dr. Justin came out last night, checked on Priya and Gilligan and Manny, Kali. Not seeing any tigers. Even Duchess I don't see. Oh, there she is in her den. I just see paws sticking out. We are in the heat of the day. I hope to go live again probably around 4:30. That's 4:30 is when we do evening meds and snacks here for the cats who are on medications for mostly old age issues. So if I don't see anything going on in this loop, I will call it a day, and well, not a day, I'll call it a live, and then come back at 4 or 4:30, depending on how the operations manager's day is going. There's Ryan. It's looking very, very abandoned out here. Oh, there's some keepers. Let's go see what those keepers are doing. Oh, it's Marie, too. I can't believe we're so lucky to see you still cleaning. Well, hello, Justin. Welcome to 172 people on Facebook. Well, good luck with that. Actually, in our staff meeting today, we said, we got to clear these ferns around the edges because people can't find her poop. It's too many ferns.
It's so big, like I said.
When you're searching for poop, are you going mostly by visual or smelling?
We found a couple of by smell. We do. Yeah, but I'm sure for me, for her, I'm sure it's by just looking everywhere. It's so small.
Well, there's one right here.
You find some?
Justin's got a hot lead.
Yeah, I know it's around here. You're, oh. No. Yeah, so where there is a little one, there is more. That's right. Yeah, that's right there. That means there is more. Oh, yes, there is more. See how big it is, Carol?
No, I still don't see it.
Very small.
Right at the tip of the things.
Right in between our two poles there.
So it's like half an inch maybe by maybe a quarter of an inch.
This little thing.
That's tiny.
Yes.
And brown, just like the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
They're everywhere. You found it. Good. You passed the test, Justin.
You guys have such skill with those poles.
She sends us out. We play golf too. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Hold on. But yeah, that's where. That's your bathroom right there. Hold on, and that's too. There is room here.
So now Maria is getting the tongs so that she can actually grab it.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Ta-da!
Look, there's more over there.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, this is her bathroom right here.
Thank you. Nice meeting you. So as long as we're back here, let's see if we can see some cats. Flint and Nabisco are out on funcation, so their cage is empty right now. I think Kelowna and Dryden are up here together. Yeah, they are. So I'm going to stay back here because they're kind of spooky. But you can see one is on up top, and then having that problem where it's like spinning over. The Facebook is not staying in the right direction. It keeps flipping. So I think that's Kelowna on the right and Dryden on the left with his cute little tail hanging out. He's got a little bit wider face and a little less nervous around people. Kelowna's kind of nervous. I know some people have said the enclosures at Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge, because they don't have all of the trees and bushes and plants that our cages have. What about cats like Kelowna and Dryden who like to hide? How are they going to be able to hide? What have I done here? If you look at what's happening right now, despite the fact that they have places where they could, I can't zoom out, places where they could be hiding, what are they doing? They're hiding in a treehouse that we made for them. So there's no limit to the number of these tree houses and catwalks and fun playgrounds that we can build for the cats at their new location in Turpentine Creek. The people there want the same thing we want, which is for all these cats to be happy and able to hide if they want to. So I think this is a great example of how we can provide every bit as much cover for them to make them feel safe from constructive materials. All right, my phone is, I finally managed to zoom out. The screen is super, super hot. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down and go live later on. But thank you everybody who joined us. I'm going to look really quickly through the comments here. So if anybody has any comments, please, or if I've failed to mention or failed to address any of them, please put them in right now. Deb just put in a link for how you can sponsor the cats. Kathy Ryan says Turpentine Creek is working on their sponsor kits to make them similar to ours so that it's not difficult for our people to figure out how to adopt there. Hi, Edith Eckert. And Bobby says, how do I find them? I don't know what she's looking for. I'm sure somebody will answer you that knows what you're talking about, that saw the context for that. Nancy says, thanks for the midday live while she was getting her coffee break. The cage I'm looking at right now is Sue and Lakota. They've been separated for a week because prior to that, somebody was vomiting and they couldn't tell who. And so today they decided to put them back together. And right when they decided, they found out it was Lakota. And he was vomiting his chicken necks. So we just changed his diet so he doesn't have chicken necks, and he should do fine. But we'll keep a close eye on him. All right. Well, thank you everybody who joined us. Love you guys. Bye.